Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Sew Chrissy, where one size does not fit all. And if it does, they're lying to you, absolutely lying. So I'm Chrissy. I sew, I overthink, I drink too much coffee. I'm from Philly. If I sound a bit aggressive sometimes, I am, but I don't mean it that way. I just care a lot. I'm super passionate. I'm just here to chat and make you guys smile if I can and share some good tips about sewing. So, when I thought about episode 2, I was like, what do I want to talk about? Right. And didn't get sued from the first episode, which I thought was like a big deal. So I was like, cool. Like I didn't say anything inappropriate, or they just haven't heard it because no one's listened to it. But nobody sent me any crazy unhinged messages. So we survived the first episode. I feel like I'm excited to move on. We're here. And we're just going to keep going with this. So let's get on to it. I'm really excited to just talk about all the things. All the things is one of my segments. When we come into these, I'm going to do them every 3 weeks as of right now, podcasts. We'll talk about all the things going on, and I'm here for it. I'm really excited to be able to talk about what's happening in my world and the universe right now. But the random messiness that's my life on a regular basis is made even more messy. As you can see, the cat back there is knocking things off my sewing table, but in all other randomness, it's freezing. And I know that lots of areas of the country are impacted with either really cold weather, like it's freezing down in Florida this past week. I know my mom's there, people I work with, and they just don't know how to handle it. But there's like a lot of snow still here from our storm 3 weeks ago. And the weather has not warmed at all. It's actually friggin' freezing today. So like when I look around, I don't know how much you can see in my background, probably not too much, but it literally still has 6 to 8 inches of snow from the 12 inches we got. The snow's just getting darker and dirtier everywhere, which I hate when that happens, when it's here too long. Like going to parking lots at malls, and actually, I only go to the mall, but there's nothing in the mall. It's like really sad. But my daughter has play class there. So I'm going to the mall and there's mountains of snow and they're all dirty. Same thing when you're just going to the shopping centers or to the food store. Hopefully we'll get through this real soon. It kind of feels really COVID-y, like no one wants to leave the house versus when we were forced to not leave our homes. But the more that I stay in, the more depressed that I get. So I am literally just forcing myself to do all the things that we have to do. Grocery shopping, kids stuff. I had to go in the office all week for work, which is also fun, but like when it's freezing, you just don't want to leave. So let's get over the first cold bitterness of the winter, and hopefully that leads to a really early warm spring. I did not look at the groundhog this week. I have no idea. It's also my Nana's birthday, but I didn't even look at the groundhog. I just want this to be over. So that's one of the things. So if you're dealing with all of this throughout the US right now, or anywhere in the world, if you're listening, I hope it's warm where you are. I don't wish this on anybody right now for this long. We're in it. Diving right in. That's my first thing. My second thing is, thank God for the Opalite video released last night. Oh my gosh, that did bring me nothing but pure joy. First off, just so you know, I do love Taylor Swift and I consider myself a Swiftie. I'll talk about it a lot. I was not a Swiftie until I went to the Eras tour and saw how amazing that girl is on stage. So I just love the humor in the video, how the people in the video came about to be in the video from the talk show. I love how much she just doesn't care about like doing whatever the fuck she wants because she's Taylor Swift and she just puts herself out there, and it was so great. I also envision like that's kind of how her and Travis kind of connect, and felt like the connection was because they were kind of on like an Opalite, like I don't know, it like just in the spotlight and all that when it happens. But a really great video. If you haven't watched it, kind of bummed that you have to watch it on like Apple TV, or not Apple TV, Apple Music. Sign up for it, but it's worth the sign up. Cancel it right after you do it. It won't disappoint, especially if you love Taylor Swift. It's just very humorous and very vintage vibe, which I also love that Taylor always goes back to her childhood inspirations and reminisces with the whole vintage, like 80s, like early 90s. It's really great. But that gets me into my bigger weekend activity, the Super Bowl. So obviously, we all know I'm from Philly. I talked about it on my first episode, and I'm really sad the Eagles didn't make the Super Bowl this year. I thought after coming off of last season, I thought it was a no brainer. But some players leave, coaches leave, and we didn't have the success this year. So I'm not full in on the Super Bowl at all this year. The Patriots, I'm happy for their new quarterback. I really don't care about the Seattle Seahawks. So I will watch for the commercials like I used to before the 2017 when the Eagles were in the start of the last Super Bowl runs that they've had. Because before that, it was the 80s. I was like 2, and honestly, like I don't remember that. We've been a little spoiled over the past few years having such a great team. My daughter doesn't even know what it's like not to feel like we haven't been in a Super Bowl. I'll watch for the commercials now and for the halftime show. And the food and the friends, that kind of stuff. A couple of thoughts on some of these things is I don't like leaked commercials. I stay away from them. Like I know that Instacart's going to have this amazing banana driven commercial because they sell a freaking ton of bananas, the 1.8 billion bananas or something on Instacart this year. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic commercial. I cannot wait to watch it, but I don't want sneak peeks. I want everybody in the country to feel the same. It's like Christmas morning. You're waiting to watch them. Buy the TV when the Super Bowl happens. I miss those days before all this social media when you could actually have the surprise and the anticipation. I'm excited for the commercials. I refuse to watch them. Whether you feel about pre-watching, that's fine. Maybe you're busy the day the Super Bowl network works out for you or you have to work. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for dip. I love a good Super Bowl party dip, whether it's the buffalo chicken dip. That's one of my favorites. I also really love a great corn dip. A little spicy corn dip is really great. And if you want those on a regular, go to Aldi's. They have really great street corn dip. You can even fake it till you make it and buy a whole bunch of them and make a really great dip platter for your Super Bowl party if you need something in a pinch. And just sprinkle some fresh cheese over top it. Put it in your own container. People think you made it. Okay, so I'm excited for the dip. So let me know in comments, like, what's your favorite dip? They're my favorite too. What else? Super Bowl, excited to see the friends. Again, I don't care who wins. Just as I know the Patriots, they've won so much. I know their new young quarterback is kind of really talented. It would be great for him. The Seahawks, they haven't been there in a while either. I know they've won some in the past few years. I honestly can't tell you when, but whatever. Super Bowl Sunday's tomorrow. It is going to be a great day for our country. I love the halftime show. It brings a ton of culture and great music into our living rooms, especially with Bad Bunny. I don't really like to get political, but he's super talented. And my cat is now playing with a ball of thread running around my studio, if you hear that. But he's super talented. Whether I understand his lyrics or what he's talking about, because I don't speak Spanish, when I listen to his music, it gets me excited. I want to dance. He's got some great songs. Could I name one? No, I honestly couldn't. But I loved that he was in Happy Gilmore 2, and I thought his role was great as the caddy. He's a pretty cool dude. I'm excited for him. It's a win for our country to have some culture on our Super Bowl halftime show, especially with all the mess going on in the world. But one thing I just want to say is remind everybody, when we're watching the Super Bowl, this is something that unites our country. It unites culture. It unites our creativity from the commercials, from the musicians at the halftime show, all the way through the US and the world. The world watches our Super Bowl. So I think that's something you have to think about. When I traveled overseas, it was probably 11 years ago now, and I was in Spain, and it was right near the Super Bowl. People were excited about it, and I did not expect that. Really cool. Really think about that when you're appreciating or before you knock something on social. Some team in some office made those commercials, work really hard on them, and there's definitely commercials we're always looking for that never disappoint. There's always some weird commercials that are new brands or new companies to the market. I forget the name of the company that did it 2 years ago, and it was just awful. But come on, we always know we're going to get a good Dunkin' Donuts commercial. The Budweiser commercial is going to make all of us moms and girls cry. We're looking forward to that. So really, let's put some positivity around all the Super Bowl this year and just really hone in on the art, the players that work really hard to get there. As someone that loves the Philadelphia Eagles and loves football, I'm not the perfect person about every single team, but I follow my team and I know all my Philadelphia teams and I know how much work and passion goes into it and like regiment that those players put themselves through just to be the best in their profession, just like I feel I do. Like, it's important if you want to be great at something, and we're all different levels. But I think, the athletes, and especially with the Olympics going on right now, I haven't gotten to watch that yet either, the opening ceremony. It's on my to-do list today. But, all these athletes are just amazing. With the Olympics and the Super Bowl this weekend, let's really go all in for the win for all the athletes, everything that happens around the Super Bowl to make it so great for our country and for the world, right? I'm going to switch my papers now. But, I don't like to get too political, even though I will a little bit on this. But again, we want to send that statement to the world that we're here for each other, no matter what's happening in our politics. I think it's something that I've seen over the past few months, especially with all the craziness, is that we've seen a level of kindness and care for just humanity and being human and just decency. There's been other people in the world, especially in our country, that aren't showing that level of decency to humans and humankind and just kindness. So let's just everybody make a pact that we're going to be extra, extra kind, extra forgiving, and extra patient. Because if we can be that and everybody makes a commitment just to that, politics aside, we will have a better country. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire or you're, living paycheck to paycheck. It matters that you care about everybody equally and be patient with each other. Like, there's ice on the road. People are driving slower and more cautiously. You might have a better vehicle that has four-wheel drive. They don't. Like, just remember, kindness and patience go a long way. And when you do it, it's usually matched or mirrored because somebody is recognizing it. I try to be really kind and I'm not perfect all the time, but I absolutely see my daughter representing my type of kind. She's 9 and I love seeing that in her eyes and in the way she talks to people and when she's with her friends and even strangers. It's really great. So it goes a long way. We're in this overcrowded world. So just be patient with each other and be patient with your creativity. And that leads me into my next segment, because sewing is all about being patient, right? Because I say it's the number one skill to sew, because if you're not patient, then you're going to get frustrated with your sewing machine, with your fabric, with everything that you touch in sewing. It's little, you're got tiny holes to put things in, needles, all the things, right? Bobbins are tiny, threading is tiny, and there's tools that will help you with that to make it easier. And like, I'm here to teach you all these things. So this week, I really wanted to talk about threading a sewing machine and just making sure that you understand how actually easy it is, but difficult if you're not doing it right. Pepper, that's my pug. She's adorable. So, and if you're not doing it right, it can be really difficult because the thread will jam. You won't even be able to start sewing sometimes if it's threaded wrong. You'll skip stitches. You'll do all the things that you think you're doing right, but it's just not working. And I've seen it too many times because I teach sewing lessons, is that you'll just walk away from it and never touch that sewing machine. You get it for Christmas and then you absolutely walk away from it after 3 or 4 times trying and failing. So my goal is to teach you some quick tips and tricks so that you don't fail. And I'm getting over a little cold, so please don't mind my coughing. Some of the tips and tricks that I want to say is, firstly, your thread is important. So you want to make sure that you're using the same type of thread in your top needle and in the bobbin casing, especially starting out. There are different times when you can switch these up, but as a beginner, I highly recommend that you keep using, if you're using cotton at top in your needle, then you're going to use the cotton in the bobbin. If you're going to use rayon and cotton, it's like oil and vinegar. They're just, well, they're kind of similar, but you know what I mean? It's like, it'll float. If you put oil and water, right? Oh my gosh. Chrissyism. It's like oil and water. Like they'll separate, right? Think of it of like that for some of the things, right? Not all of the things. So what I really want you to do is think about your threads first. Then I want you to pull out your sewing machine book. Your sewing machine book, and if you don't have one because you bought your machine like secondhand or just got it from a friend, whatever it is, or your grandmother's old machine, you can go to Google your machine and do sewing book or instruction book, and it will come right up. You want to make sure you read this from start to finish, especially when you're threading your machine and learning how to sew. It tells you how to troubleshoot issues with your machine. It teaches you how to thread your machine, all the things. So you're going to understand your sewing machine, and you're going to keep that threading section out when you thread your sewing machine until you get used to it. But I will tell you, and I'm going to post a little video over top of me talking so you can see me actually doing one. But what I want to tell you is that in that book, it will tell you, and your machine will reflect the same thing. It will have a number coinciding with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Some of them have 5 steps. Some of them have 4 steps. Some of them have 9 steps. So your book will tell you, and your machine, if it's a newer machine, like I would even say since the 70s have them too. It depends on your machine. All new machines have it. It will illustrate step 1, step 2, where that thread goes and how to wrap it, put it in, and what to do all the way through the threading process. So you just really want to closely follow that. The 2 most common mistakes, I would say, is that on your sewing machine, there is a little one from your thread spool on the top, and then it'll go to number 2, which is kind of wraps around something and then goes down into the tension wheel and around the tension wheel. And then it goes up into like a metal looper, and they call it like a thread arm. Sometimes it comes all the way up out of your machine. Sometimes it stays all the way inside the machine, but you just kind of loop it into that in your machine. Your needle also should be all up. It shouldn't be inside your machine when you're threading. If it is, you won't catch this loop. So make sure your needle's fully up, and you use your little wheel that's always to the right of the sewing machine to move your needle up and down. So make sure that needle's up. Then your thread will fit in that little loop arm for the thread very naturally. And then you want to go down and then into the second most common mistake is it doesn't go in. You don't go right into the needle. There's always a little hook or like a loop right above the needle, usually on the right side of the needle. Some machines are on the left, but the majority are on the right. Your thread goes behind it and then into the front of the needle. So that is the biggest struggle, I think, for new sewers is threading your machine correctly. Like I said, I'm going to show you all of this in a video that overlaps with this, so make sure you're watching this video closely. I'll also post it on my YouTube channel I'm starting this week. Then you want to make sure you have your bobbin. Now, if you're new to sewing, you definitely need to learn how to wind a bobbin, but you can also just go to Amazon and buy some bobbins. I have an Amazon store front that you can go to and buy pre-wound bobbins. It's fantastic. Bobbins are my biggest pet peeve in sewing. I hate when something is sewing perfectly and my bobbin runs out. So I always, depending on the color I need, if it's the white or black, I buy those so I never have to make one. But if it is like a specific color for a garment or something I'm making, I wind all my bobbins at the beginning so I don't have to stop and wind a bobbin, and I can just really quick throw the bobbin in and continue going. So something I have to say about a bobbin is you want to always insert your bobbin counterclockwise, but I like to say down and to the left. So if you have a bobbin and you're holding a bobbin and you're looking at the bobbin, the thread should be on the left side when you're looking at it and hanging down on the left. And I always like to remember, and I coach it in my classes, to be a Beyonce song. So I love me some Beyonce, and I will sing to the left, your bobbin thread down and to the left. Whether you like that or not, it's counterclockwise, or to the left, your bobbin thread down and to the left. I like to make sewing fun and use little things that I will trigger your memory when you hear a song or when you're doing something. We'll teach you how to wind a bobbin too next week. But once you have that bobbin down and to the left, whether it is one that you drop in from the top of the sewing machine or you insert into underneath the sewing machine, you will be able to do that pretty simply and follow the directions that are illustrated there. Usually there's a little hook and a notch you have to put it through. I prefer a Brother sewing machine over any other sewing machine because I think they have the most easy bobbin setup, and it's an automatic bobbin threader, because if not, you have to like pull this thread through. Like I said, in my video, I will demonstrate both of these so you see. I just really wanted to, really kind of give you the pain points and know the pain points. And the one thing with a bobbin, if it is the underneath bobbin where it's not the drop in, like the Brother one I'm going to show you, then you have to kind of use your needle to pull the bobbin thread out and catch it and loop it. And before you start sewing, all you do is make sure both threads are ready to go. On the Brother machines, or the top that have their automatic bobbin feeder, you don't have to worry about the bobbin thread at all. And that's why I love them. You just kind of hook it in right, and you could just make sure your needle thread is behind the sewing foot, and you just go. But first, make sure you put down your sewing foot. That's another rookie mistake. If you don't put down your sewing foot before you start sewing, you're going to jam your bobbin right away. You want to make sure that you do all those things. I'll illustrate it in the video, but I'll tell you, all these mistakes happen to me still, and I have been sewing since I was 5. Like, it's going to happen, especially if like I'm working on a big project and I've been sewing all day. Oh my God, I'm so screwed. Like that's when I know when to stop. Stop sewing when mistakes start happening. If you've been sewing all day, if you're just starting, be patient and check these things. Make sure you're threaded right. Make sure your bobbin's in properly. Make sure your sewing foot was down. Make sure your threads were in the right places when you started sewing. You also don't want to start sewing too before you check that the thread is pulling out from the needle smoothly, because if it's not and it's catching something, you're not going to sew right. Really, really focus on these things when you start sewing. If you wanted to ever sew or just got a sewing machine for Christmas, watch this and just try to start. Don't try to sew something. Get a piece of scrap fabric and just make sure that you're sewing properly. Watch the video for your specific machine on YouTube and how to thread it and how to wind a bobbin, how to insert your bobbin. It will really be helpful before you start, and read your book on this specific area, because 99% of the time, the people that stop sewing, it's because they can't get this down properly. They'll get the sewing machine and fail this first step, and they just lose confidence in themselves. And then they think that the sewing machine is a monster. It's too difficult, and they walk away and their sewing dreams are done. Every single person I've had in a sewing class has had these issues. And when I started sewing, I had these issues. It's pretty simple once you learn. And I don't want anybody to feel, hey, I can't do this. It's too hard. It's not. It's just user error, and a simple user error. So let me help you and get that fixed for you. If you're having these issues, please put comments. If you want to take pictures and show me, I will help you through it. It's funny, all the people that have taken my sewing class on my Facebook group PM me and just ask me questions and send me pictures. So I'm totally okay with that. And I do have a Facebook group if you want to join. I don't have an Instagram. I have an Instagram for my clothing line. But I have a Facebook group, or you can comment on the YouTube channel when I get there this week. I'm just starting all this. I'm going to make mistakes. This is going to be really raw. I'm going to hopefully get better as we go. Just be patient with me. I hope that helped, so that you just try to start sewing. Okay. You got this. I'm excited to hear your stories. And if you try to thread your machine and make a bobbin, let me know too. If you do that, I'm excited to hear any success stories or even stories that need help. Share them all so I can help. All right. Part of just in my world, I'm always learning to grow. And that's part of this podcast is also growing and growth. We're going to have a segment where it's like my aha moments of between podcasts. Like, what were my aha moments, right? Like, I noticed that on the last podcast that I said that a bunch. So I think it's my aha moment is like, oh my gosh, like, I'm all over the place, like in life and in my career, not in a bad way, just like I'm doing a lot of things all the time. The snow, it taught me to slow down, and that was kind of an aha moment. And I was like, oh, it's kind of nice. Like, it's cold out. We don't want to go out. My real aha moment this week, I really think, is just social media and AI, the whole AI world. I've been using AI at work like a ton. We have a great AI team at my job. Like, I'm in retail and I work for corporate. We're always like trying to make things more efficient for our customers. I use GPT a lot, and I'm learning how to use it effectively. Some people are not in AI, it's bad for the environment and all that. I get that. And you're so entitled to your opinion. If you don't like AI, you may not want to hear this, but I really am loving it more than I thought I would. I thought it was going to take my creativity away, or what's the word? Or make me dumber because I'm not thinking about the things that I'm doing, and chat's doing it for me. My ChatGPT name is Chat. Some people name it names. Mine's just Chat. So, but AI is making me be able to grow in my job role and help. I have ADHD. So it's really starting to help me structure some of my thinking and also like help me understand the way I think. It's really kind of cool. There's a great South Park episode about chat, and it's really funny. You guys should all watch it, about ChatGPT and just AI in general. If you haven't, it was out this year. I'm really loving it for these reasons. But also, I think it's opening up my creativity, and it's also giving me more times to like fill in. Well, fill in's not the right word. It's just giving me more time to spend on other things because it's making my tasks at work and life simpler. When I think about all the things that are happening, I'm like, oh, that's pretty crazy. Like, I got that done in 5 minutes. And before, my ADHD would be like, oh, put it off, put it off. It's going to take you forever. But now, like, I can just, instead of struggling with writing something, not because I can't, it's just because it takes me a little bit longer. I had dyslexia and a little ADHD combined, but it's helping me simplify these tasks in my real life and in my career. And then it's organizing them in a way and pulling all the information in from resources that come into my world that need me to understand what's happening. And I think if you can learn how to use AI to do that, you're going to be super like, holy moly, this is fantastic. I'm going to give you an example. So I literally just I had this whole email chain. I posted the entire email chain into ChatGPT and said, what do I need to do for this email chain? And it literally told me everything I needed to do. And I said, okay, based on everything, here's what the answer is in a short note. Can you write up my reply email, whatever? It did all of that in like 35 seconds, right? Like, it's insane. And granted, I take it and then I tweak it to be like a little bit more version of me, but I pay for ChatGPT now. And now it also knows my personality, which is also creepy, but fantastic. And now I just learned there's a program that's AI driven that you can actually connect your Slack, your email. I don't know the name of it because I haven't started using it yet and someone just sent it to me, but apparently it connects all the things. So I'll keep you up to date and let you know how that program works and what it is once I test it. It'll connect all of your school email calendar on it, my PTO emails on it. I'm planning the school carnival and all these things to really make it cohesive for me to have everything I need to do. And it's telling me what I need to do on a regular basis based on my programs or my emails and certain apps I use feeding into it. So pretty cool stuff. I will let you know when I get into that. But that was like my aha moment. It's like, how else can I use AI? And then I realized Maisie's really into music. This week, I'm gonna like see what we can do to make some fun music together, recording stuff that she's doing for herself on her guitar, her keyboard, and the songs she's been writing. That was my aha moment. I think a lot of people are a little intimidated by AI, but I think if you become a leader for AI for yourself, you'll figure out what you need and what you don't like and use what you like and what benefits you. And I think it's okay. I don't think it's like not doing your job. I don't think it's like, not using your brain. I think it's just being fucking resourceful. And we need to be more resourceful in this life because it's moving so fast. So the downside to the AI is the fake AI that's out there, pictures, things that we think is real. You can put that in chat and it will tell you if it's real or not. So don't forget that. And don't be fooled by fake AI. Be smart enough to know what is fake and what's real and how to identify it. Then you can be less scared of AI. That taught me a lot, in just trying and testing. But it's also incredible. I had so much fun at work. We all made characters of ourselves in ChatGPT with all the things we do in life and work and combined them, brings together community in fun ways. So there's just so much. Do I think, yes, it's going to take some jobs? Yes. Do I think it's going to eliminate some of the things some people do? I do. But I also think that it's also going to educate us and teach us how to do things more efficiently. Take it for what you will. That's my opinion on it. It was my aha moment of how much it's positively impacted me. It's given me the courage to write scripts for this show that I don't really follow, but it gives me like a good outline to what to say and to feel like I'm on the right point or the right track and not all over the place. And even though I'm a little all over the place because that's just who I am. Take it for what you will. I want everybody to be you. I want everybody to be kind. I want you to go out in the world and really discover what makes you happy. Enjoy the moments in life that you can. Respect your neighbor, no matter who they are, what they stand for. Be kind, be human. Self-preservation is important. Definitely consider that when you're out in the world. But, be patient with the world. Be patient with your neighbors. Be patient with your children, your family, and your pets. And be kind. We look forward to chatting with everybody the next time we get together. If you like this podcast, please share. Please ask your friends to listen. It's the only way that my sewing messages and my life messages will get out there. I really appreciate everybody who does tune in, who does listen. Please, if there's stuff you want me to talk about or you have questions about, please don't be afraid to comment or send me a PM if you can find me on Facebook or anywhere in the world. If you see me out and about, I'm here for it. To me, life is about community and my friends and family, and that is everybody I meet. So thank you all. Till next time on Sew Chrissy.
They can say